Effin' True Wrestling here. Brian Crazy,
JC Styles,
and we're here with our Monday Night Raw review. We'll jump right into it. JC, you want to start off?
I missed the first, I think 20 minutes of the segment of the show with John Cena and the Nexus fighting a little bit of a cold, and I was falling asleep in and out, and my father kept constantly waking me up. I was expecting to be sleeping this whole thing. That's why Brian has everything written down for details. He was going to do this a solo bit, something similar to what I did last week.
Yeah, we just want to make sure, guys, that we bring you the information when we have it, when you guys are looking for it.
As soon as it happens.
Exactly. I mean, Raw goes off the air, you guys are jumping on YouTube, you're checking out what people have to say about the show, you're leaving comments, you're engaging, before you guys call it a wrap, this, that, and the other. So it's kind of cool that, we get it up today instead of, like how we used to do it in the past, get it up 2-3 days later. We seem to get less views, less fan interaction, and less general overall interest in our videos. So
before we get into that, I just want to make a quick comment that Q&A, we are still planning on doing Q&A.
Yes, we are.
It's just the fact is that we're trying just to get more, because we went through all our comments and a lot of good questions, and we want to answer every single one of them. It's just the fact is that a lot of the questions are coming from the same people, and we're trying to get maybe 1 to 3 questions from each single one of our viewers. We're just trying to get more of the viewers.
Yeah, there's a couple guys out there. We know you're checking it out, guys. Leave a quick comment. We get a couple more today, tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. We can sit down and finally bang out this Q&A. I know we planned for it on Sunday. Unfortunately, we kind of changed our schedule a little bit for this week. We brought you some Royal Rumble predictions. Now we're bringing you a Raw review, and we'll bring you some SmackDown information as it comes in tomorrow. Like JC said, he's not feeling so well, so I kind of did a play-by-play rundown that I was going to give you guys to provide you with the most possible information in this review that me and JC could. We've been talking about this. We want to pack these reviews full of information for you. It's our biggest goal, is to give you guys, the fans, what you're looking for. So JC did, like you said, miss the 20 minutes of the show, but he saw pretty much the rest of it. We were, texting back and forth throughout. What I'll do is I'll run through some of this stuff so I can actually, use my little magic sheets here, and JC will kind of give you an opinion. So it'll almost be like you got two commentators coming at you, which that's me and JC's dream one day, is to either have a radio show, an actual live action show when we're talking, interviewing wrestlers, this, that, or the other, or maybe even, being involved in a promotion, maybe even commentating a real live wrestling match one day.
Definitely. Me and Brian are trying to get our foot in the wrestling door, so to speak. I mean, we're trying to reach out to a couple of talents, and right now all we've gotten is numbers, and we're trying to reach out to a couple people, maybe seeing if we can get some wrestling conventions back up to Connecticut for a lot of us wrestling fans, and maybe even get a sit-down interview with a couple of these guys, and try to see what we could do of getting what they've been doing outside of wrestling, being that either A, they can't go anymore, or B, there's just no one looking to give them that contract.
Or C, maybe life's taken a different swerve for them. They found a new direction in life. Example, Ted DiBiase Sr., the $1 Million Man. He's, found God and found Christianity. So, hats off to him. It's whatever,
Just Incredible, I think, found religion as well.
Yeah, I believe he did. And, hats off to him as well. Whatever, guys, that it takes for you to feel, complete and fulfilled inside, go for it. You guys deserve it. You've, entertained fans for years, and it's time to take care of yourselves. So, to run down a quick, beginning of the show, we started off, we kind of had a new intro for the night. I don't know if it was just because they ran the Martin Luther King Day package at the beginning of the show, or is this a new intro we're going to see week from week. It kind of looks pretty polished, so it seems like it could possibly be a new intro.
Of course, they still had Michael Cole and all that. And what is with WWE being so high on Michael Cole? I have no idea. I remember when The Rock used to make fun of him, and Michael and John.
Throw a shirt over his head. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and Shawn Michaels and John Cena used to say that he had a fetish with boy bands and stuff, and now he's the voice of the WWE.
And John Cena's giving hugs in public, and I don't know. And John Cena comes out. He starts to cut a promo. The Miz comes out. Starts the talk, this, that, and the other. They get into WrestleMania, the Rumble, they keep going on. CM Punk comes out. He orders the new Nexus, which now consists of CM Punk, David Otunga, Mr. Perfect Jr., and Husky, and a new 5th member. Keep watching to find out. You have to wait to the end of this review, but it is pretty interesting, unless you read the title, of course. But, which you probably did. And then they attack Cena.
Well, let's just hope that we don't get hate mail because
this event already happened. It went off the air.
Yeah, but for a lot of the people who haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet,
you know what? It's not our fault they invented the DVR.
Yeah, exactly.
Blame Bell Laboratories or whoever's in fault. And
blame electronics.
You know what? That. Well, we couldn't make this review without electronics.
Well,
we'd have to carve it into stone tablets and mail it out to. Well, we couldn't even mail it. We'd have to send it by dinosaur and folk power, like the Flintstones. But that's a whole other story. They come out, they attack Cena, this, that, or the other, the new Nexus. We then see Santino and Kozlov come in, which is kind of a surprising swerve, and they kind of help clear it out. The new GM, the fucking computer GM, which Joey has the hilarious noise on his BlackBerry, which Michael Cole was plugging BlackBerry tonight now, wasn't he? And
yeah, he was.
He sure was. And BlackBerry at any of your local wireless carriers.
BlackBerry.
And they book a match later for the night for CM Punk versus John Cena, which be honest, I'm kind of excited to see what happens. Then we move into a tag team competition for the tag team championship. We have Santino Marella, Vladimir Kozlov go against Jimmy and Jey Uso.
No comment.
No comment? You're not going to say that you think Santino's a joke?
No, because everyone already knows what my take on Santino and Kozlov.
I love Santino. Cobra!
We talk about the tag team titles, and we try to talk about how the division once was, and it gets really tiring to trying to plug the same shit over and over again. It's like one of our friends. He bought a car one year, and he turned around and
this is the one video he actually watches because he's not very interested in the wrestling.
And so we turned around and we said, why do you keep buying and selling cars? And he winds up getting this car that was you can't. It just looked like a turd. It looked like a polished turd.
No, but the thing is it's not even that he just buys and sells these cars. It's he takes a car and then gets a worse car. Then takes this car and then manages to get an even worse car. And then when you think it can't get any worse, guys, he gets a multicolored car. And I mean, what is it, 6 years older than the car he had. And only needed cars. And I think the car he had only needed $100 part. Now the car he has needs $1,000 in parts. But
I don't know.
That's okay. But moving on, like you said, Jay really didn't have too much of a comment. We saw Kozlov, really be kind of vicious in this match. He did a battering ram to one of the Usos. Then we saw Santino hit the Cobra. Santino picked up the victory on one of the Usos. I can't tell the difference between the two. Just like the Bellas, I can't tell the freaking difference.
They're not really twins. They're not identical, but they're lookalikes.
They are identical twins. Both.
If you look at Nikki and Bella, they have completely different bone structures.
I looked them up. They are
twins, but they're not identical.
Can you tell the difference?
Yeah, I could. If you take a good long look at Nikki and Brie, you can see the difference in their face. And I've done a lot of looking. So, what was the next match? John Morrison versus...
Oh, yeah, we see Daniel Bryan walking backstage with the Bellas. They both got on Daniel Bryan shirts, all cut up and, all look, yeah, PG, what's going on here?
As George Lopez would say, how is it going to go? Hold on.
If anybody in this video went to Vinyl Tech in Middletown, Connecticut, you will remember there was this football coach, McNamara, right? And he was also the math teacher. And I remember every time I got in trouble, he made me write 500 times, right, during the whole class. So I never learned any damn math in his class. Luckily, I was just good at math anyway. But anytime he saw a girl with a shirt, he would purposely call her over so he could just check her out and then yell at her. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, watch him see this video too. But
watch him see this video and lose his teaching degree.
He ain't there no more anyway.
Oh, okay.
He was a horrible football coach too. But next we had they showed a quick highlight clip of the week. It was Morrison versus Sheamus. Then they showed a Morrison promo, which was actually pretty decent. I saw him kind of hype a couple wrestlers throughout the night, which is this trying to influence the crowd to make a Royal Rumble pick?
I don't know, like, speaking of, we did a Royal Rumble prediction, and Brian, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Brian thinks that, Del Rio is really destined to win it. I think there's a real handful of wrestlers that haven't really gotten their push yet. I think Big Ezekiel Jackson is one of them. I can see
which he's now being billed at, guys. If you don't know, he's now being billed as just Ezekiel.
Oh, just Ezekiel.
Just Ezekiel.
So it's like there's quite a few wrestlers that I would like to see win the Royal Rumble, just so they can have that somewhat of a push. But just like last year, Edge won the Royal Rumble, but he didn't win at WrestleMania. So if they're gonna do something like that this year, they're gonna have somebody win the Royal Rumble, just not to win at Mania. Maybe they should push somebody.
If you watch Raw tonight, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but here's an interesting fact to build on what JC is saying. Only 70% of the Royal Rumble winners have gone on to win at WrestleMania.
Shawn Michaels in 1995 won the Royal Rumble, lost at WrestleMania 11. I believe Stone Cold didn't win at WrestleMania Royal Rumble 99, no chance in hell, but magically got a title shot at WrestleMania, beating Vince at Massacre, St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Oh, in the steel cage where
they painted it black to make it look like McMahon can climb a cage.
Yeah, that was my classic saying. I remember that. Yeah, it was the old blue cage, and they painted the sucker black, right? And then they said that McMahon could climb a cage because obviously he ain't going up chain link. That would have been funny. Probably would have got.
He wound up with whiplash when he got kicked off the side of off the cage, and he landed on his spine on the other.
Imagine his toupee would have gotten caught on the top, and they glued it.
Well, that's not a toupee though, because he got his head shaved at WrestleMania 23.
Comb over. But, dude, that thing would have, he's got glue to, rip chunks of his scalp. It just would have been nasty.
Yeah.
The McMahon scalp ripping syndrome. All caused by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Courtesy of Budweiser beer. Budweiser, the king of beers.
But back to the video package. It was a really pretty good video package.
It really was.
I'm not the biggest John Morrison supporter. I know there's a lot of people out there that really can't stand him, but I respect what he does in the ring because I would kind of like to see him pick the ball up where Shawn Michaels, retiring and everything like that. Because he's got the hair, he's got the look, he's got the athleticism. Why not build John Morrison up to be kind of like Shawn Michaels? They're building John Cena up to be like the next Hulk Hogan, which there'll never be another Hulk Hogan. But why can't they build John Morrison up to be like the next Shawn Michaels?
Which Joey did make an interesting video at the beginning of the summer. If you haven't seen it, it's called C Nation versus Hulkamania. It's he was going to try a concept called past versus present.
That never really got taken off.
Yeah, unfortunately. We were hoping to see more interest, and so, guys, check it out. If we see, some comments flood in on this thing, all you gotta do is look through our old videos. It's there. 2 seconds of effort will yield you a pretty good 10-minute video with JC. Check it out. I'm plugging JC.
The match? What do you have to say about the match?
Well, he had 2 minutes of match, and then they went to a commercial during the match. Dude,
and then you come back.
I kept tabs on this. There was a commercial almost every 8 minutes. I counted down 9:37. Then we had 9:43, 9:46. We had 10:12. We had 10:22, 10:30, 10:41, 10:51. We're on the East Coast of the United States here. We're in Connecticut. So, I'm sure your commercial breaks are probably very similar wherever you're watching the show. But just, to reference what time we're talking about. But too many goddamn commercials during matches.
I think maybe a total of a 15-minute match with the commercial in between, so it was more like maybe like an 8-minute match on television. So even though I'm going to give this match a really good rating because the fact is that I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan. I picked up a lot of his ROH stuff when he was over in ROH. Unfortunately, we found out that this is a Raw review, but we found out that HDNet and ROH's contract is coming to an end.
Yes, it is. They filmed episodes up to April, and then they have no outlet. So they can do a similar thing as TNA and do a web broadcast. Or maybe WWE's even taken that step with their NXT show.
Yeah.
Turn into a web broadcast. They're actually still making a full show and producing it on the web, and I guess it's showing considerable interest.
Exactly.
I'm not a big fan.
The outcome?
No offense. I'll just run through it real quick, play by play. We see them come back from the commercial break. We see Daniel Bryan avoid a Starship Pain. We see Morrison catapult Daniel Bryan into the corner post. Then he does a flash kick, a running kick to the temple, and picks up the win. I mean, it was three moves that created this incredible combo.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I saw it, I texted JC, "What a combo!" I mean, I thought it was quite incredible.
Now, does this set up? Not to cut you off, but does this set up Morrison, Daniel Bryan for the United States title at the Rumble?
Now, are they going to use the United States title once again as a stepping stone, which I think would be a fantastic choice? Used to be back in the old NWA, WCW days. You won the United States Championship. You were automatically the #1 contender for the title. That rule needs to be reinstated.
Well, I think that was the same thing with the Intercontinental Championship. If you won the Intercontinental Championship, you were guaranteed a WWE
because it was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship back in the day, if I wasn't mistaken. Then we kind of come out, then we see, my last comment on this match is, I mean, Morrison shows this Spider-Man-like agility. I mean, it is incredible. Parkour, yes, parkour is incredible. His running style of athleticism, if you don't know, check it out, now you know. Then we see King Sheamus come out. He's claiming that he's the one that's made Morrison, because Morrison's had such great matches against him. I think it's helped make Morrison's push, but I think claiming that Sheamus made this athlete is, a little far-fetched.
Yeah.
I mean, do you agree?
I don't know. What is up with that Lord of the Rings getup he is wearing?
It is
something unbelievable. I don't know. I want to know what Sheamus is drinking. Give me some of that. Maybe it'll help me clear up my congestion.
Exactly. Next match, we see another interpromotional match. WWE is going the right direction with this. It's fine to keep the brands. Let's see more competition. JC's talked about it in previous videos. We need more intra-brand competition. We need to open this roster more. We need to see...
We just need to see more interpromotional great matches. I mean, except for with the exceptions of like pay-per-views. I mean, we're probably going to get a really friggin' amazing Royal Rumble. And that's usually what happens with the interpromotional pay-per-views. You'll get a really good Royal Rumble, and then we won't have an interpromotional match until probably like bragging rights when you see a really big promotional match, which is Team SmackDown versus Team Raw. And I don't know.
Bragging rights for the last couple of years has been okay.
It's been okay. While we're on the subject, actually, the last couple of years, we did a video for TNA Genesis where they checked that out as well.
Very good vid, by the way.
Very good vid, where I said that TNA Genesis has had some memorable debuts. Actually, just checked out for the hell of it, Genesis 2005, and that was the debut of Christian Cage, aka just Christian, in TNA. And,
Jason Rizzo?
Yeah. So, I'm hoping to see Christian come back over the next couple of weeks, maybe just in time for the Royal Rumble.
Now, if they don't pair Edge and Christian as a team, I want to see Christian go right after Edge's championship.
Yeah.
That's how it needs to be done. No ifs, ands, or buts. Christian was the NWA Heavyweight Champion. He can be the World's Heavyweight Champion.
But does Vince see that, though? Because, I mean, Vince doesn't really see the NWA as being a major thing anymore.
I think Vince is punishing Christian for jumping ship to TNA for a couple of years. Just like when Jeff jumped ship to TNA, Matt got punished for all those months he stayed and tried to make a name for himself. Look at the ass they made out of him. To be honest, look at the ass they made out of him. I mean, yeah, maybe it's some of himself, but I mean, just the whole direction on SmackDown was just a disaster.
Exactly.
I do agree that Michael P.S. Hayes was trying to live vicariously through these guys, and it still is, and
also, big.
What kind of connection? They're in TNA. What kind of connection does Hayes still have with the Hardy Boys? I'm really curious about that. And Vince is still letting him be the lead, right?
And a little bit of
plot thickens, doesn't it, guys? Think about that one.
Triple H actually does a lot of the booking for the house shows. The booking that when we go see the WWE Kmart presents WWE Road to WrestleMania Raw house show. March 18th. That's actually going to be a Triple H booked show. It's either going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match between Randy Orton and The Miz for the WWE Championship, or it's probably going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match for the WWE Championship. So I'm kind of actually hoping to see Falls Count Anywhere, just because they're probably going to go in the crowd and stuff like that, which would be pretty
which we're sitting 4th row. It's going to be freaking phenomenally awesome. JC's, been to a lot more live events than I have. He knows, the way to score tickets. He knows where to be, when to be. So we were at the box office right when we were supposed to be.
Best bet, don't buy tickets online. Go to the venues, pick up the tickets.
Unless you live really far. You'll save in a lot of fees. You really will.
Unfortunately, me and Brian live about 20 minutes away from the XL Center, so it was a lot easier for us to just go and get the tickets, because they were going to charge us, I think, like $10 to $12 for each ticket additional if we bought them online. And it's just, we made off like bandits, because what we would have paid for them online, we got really close front row, because we would have had to substitute, get a couple of rows back to save a couple of dollars, and pay what we paid for them at the venue, which was $63 a piece. And to that night, that's going to be me, Brian, and my father going.
Which is going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. My father got me into wrestling, so I've been watching wrestling since I was a baby, running around with Hulkamania on my shirt and, pretending to be Hulk Hogan. So it's memories. It's memories for me that I get to go see a wrestling event with my father again. Well, let's continue with the show. I think we're running a little bit on time.
Yeah. I should probably go over and check in a second, but I'm just going to start off.
Just run down through the card, and then we'll just do a brief overall.
Alright, I am going to run right through the card, guys. I'm going to give you play-by-play through the whole show. Like I said, we're probably running short on time, so we're not going to go too in-depth. We're just going to give you our views quickly. We saw Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton. Next,
I was hoping Vicky would have got RKO'd, but...
Yeah, what was up with Vicky's eyes, man? Did you see that? Dude, it looks like she got some Botox shots. Her eyes were like over... It was like really creepy, man. Or she got like punched in the face with the ugly stick. No disrespect, Eddie. I love you, man, but your wife is something else. So we have...
She didn't get the ugly stick, but she got something else.
Let's probably get Dolph's stick. Hey. We have ski. We see the number one contenders square off. Before that, they cut to a stand up for WWE promo, which we were all in standing up for WWE, except for before they censored one of our videos, so they can stand up for that.
They can stick it.
Then we see the Bellas talking about how hot Morrison is. Then they talk about competing over Daniel Bryan, and they want to be his first. I mean, you're trying to tell me this 30-year-old man hasn't. Come on.
I mean, listen to the music.
No, this
it's just a gimmick.
I know it's just a gimmick
story.
But God, I guess it's a PG show. Like, if this is the way they want to go, it's almost amusing.
We went from live sex shows with Edge and Lita to this.
Then we see, yeah, exactly. And then we see Justin Roberts announces Vicky Guerrero. Excuse me. Then, like I said, Vicky's eyes. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Now it says Dirk Diggler. No, I mean Dolph Ziggler. Sorry about that. Then we got to another goddamn commercial. Well, I had a boss. If I said that, he would have said, "Hey, he has nothing to do with it," and if he did, it would be right. So I should think about that a little more often. What time do we got on there?
11:47.
I don't know how long this has been running. I'm gonna check it real quick, guys. Excuse me.
What do we got?
We're about 24 minutes.
Alright, so you just continue running through?
Yeah, I'm going to continue running through for you guys. We had a close match. Dolph got a real close 2 count. Orton hits a really sick backbreaker. And then that was after Dolph and Orton exchanged some real hard fists and a couple kicks to each other. What's what Michael Cole's saying? Frickin' vintage Orton. I mean, the guy's done it like 6 weeks in a row. I don't think it's no longer vintage. I think it's part of his current moveset. Yeah. I mean, vintage Orton.
I don't know. This is Michael Cole again. Why did they hire Michael Cole?
Yeah.
I'll give you an anonymous message from the general manager.
Orton did a pretty
in your eye.
Orton did a pretty sick scoop slam. Not to be like plugging Orton here, but he did really show strong. But Dolph Ziggler also showed good too. Then you see Orton start to gain some momentum. Orton then goes for the DDT off the ropes, which Michael Cole's like, oh, look at it again, more vintage Orton. Dude, this is like his current moveset. It's no longer vintage after like 4 to 5 weeks. And what was up with Vicky's eyes, man? Moving on. Her eyes were crazy.
Orton picks up the victory.
Yeah, Orton picked up the victory. And then we see The Miz and Alex Riley come out. They end up throwing Orton through the barricade. And if you watched closely, Orton was bleeding from this area. I don't know exactly where, but they panned out of it so freaking quick because they didn't want to show it on their PG show. But Orton was definitely busted open. And he was bleeding pretty good, man. I saw crimson, so...
Yeah.
And that guy puts on more baby oil than you can imagine, so it was definitely crimson. Unless, everybody at the stores, oh my god, they use ketchup packets.
No.
That
was blood.
No. What the real secret is, guys, that, I hope we don't turn off like 3/4 of our fan base right over. The real secret is in their wrist tape. They keep little chunks of razor blades, half of it wrapped in tape, and some of the hardcore contests, a lot of the older wrestlers do this. Flair, Funk, Foley.
Yeah.
They'll just nick their forehead in a match. Not saying that we approve of this, but it is part of it's part of the wrestling world. They'll nick their forehead in a match.
I think everyone's seen The Wrestler by now, with the exception of Brian over here.
I haven't on Blu-ray, just haven't watched it yet. But I knew of this beforehand. It's called blading or cutting. And they just nick right here. After they start to sweat, this carries a lot of blood. It creates the effect. Yeah. So, that's... to move on, I don't know how we kind of got to that. Oh, Randy Orton did win that match by an RKO. Then we kind of move into a Hall of Fame promo. Then we see CM Punk with the new Nexus talking about faith. Then we see a women's match about to begin, including Melina on commentary. Melina doesn't say like 2 frickin' words to Michael Cole the whole time. Her new heel persona, or revived heel persona.
Was talking in, at first when I caught it, I thought Melina was talking in the third person, but it was actually Eve Torres talking. I didn't even know that she was out there.
She looked fantastic again tonight.
My buddy Pedro's future ex-wife, as he calls her.
Then we see Maurice go against Natalya, and right off the bat, Natalya's trying to hit the sharpshooter. I knew she was going to pick up the victory again with the sharpshooter. It would be kind of cool. She seems pretty athletic. The sharpshooter's got some great heritage, but maybe she could come up with something original. Yeah, exactly.
At least Edge had like a modified sharpshooter, what was called the Execution before, or the Educator, and he stopped doing that, so I don't know why.
Educator. Those are some pretty sick names.
Yeah.
Edge, the Rated R superstar. Should Joey get the Rated R belt? Send us a message if he should.
I'm actually undecided if I want to go with the classic IC title, any version of the spinner, or I might go with the undisputed dependent.
Okay. Then we see a whole 1-minute match.
The 1 minute.
Maurice comes over and starts yelling at Cole after she lost to Natalya by the sharpshooter. Then Eve comes over and just pushes her and walks away. I thought she smacked her. I was mistaken. Then Ted comes out and cuts a promo. Maurice is calling him a loser. He says he's going to win the Royal Rumble. And then he issues a top rope challenge. Our boy, who Joey thinks has a big chance of winning the Royal Rumble, Ms. Mark Henry.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Mark Henry. He's the world's strongest man for a reason.
How do you get your pecs to go around to your back? Dude, that was probably the funniest thing that X-Pac ever did. But moving on, he accepts Ted's challenge, comes out. He tosses Ted over the top rope within 30 seconds. Then you see a whole bunch of superstars come out and kind of do a mock Royal Rumble. We see Regal, Tatsu, Tyson. Then we see Tatsu eliminated. A lot of guys come out. I couldn't write down all the names, so I got as many of the eliminations and people as possible, just in case if you don't get a chance to see this. We see Regal out. We see Primo, Tyson out. Then we see Sheamus, Chop Blocks, Big Mark Henry. Sheamus throws Ryder out. D.H. Smith somehow gets eliminated. I just saw him walking around the side. I didn't even really see him come into the match. Mark Henry throws out Sheamus.
Like a belly-to-belly type thing, and he didn't even touch the top rope. He just physically threw him over the top rope like he was a pillowcase.
Are we going to see the World Bodybuilding Federation again? Does everybody remember that failed endeavor by McMahon? Hey, I actually...
No, it was an exit vote.
Well, there's many failed endeavors by Vince McMahon. But hey, WWE 2010, you did okay. I actually came back to wrestling from the WWE to 2011. Come on, keep impressing me. Miz, if you bring him into WrestleMania, you're not getting buy rates. Just a hint. Not to keep rambling on, I mean, I've been talking about this whole card. Like I said, we thought we were going to kind of have this video geared a little bit differently tonight, but JC's feeling okay enough to shoot it for you guys, you know. He's coming through for our fans. He's a good guy. I'm just going to check the time one more time.
Basically, I think the rest of the show kind of went like this.
Yeah, we're at 29 minutes. So basically, guys, after that, we ended up seeing... we're gonna run out of time. We only have a minute left on this footage. Basically, we end up seeing.
Before we do anything, what's with there to not being a Hall of Fame induction tonight?
Exactly. We end up seeing CM Punk versus John Cena. We end up seeing a new member interfere. This, guys, is a guy by the name of, I know his name's Mason Ryan. He's the current FCW heavyweight champ. His real name is Barry Griffiths. I have Griffin. I don't know how to say it. It looks like Griffiths. It's Griffiths. It's past me. I'm from Connecticut, so I got this like thing. So he's from Brooklyn.
He kind of looked like a mock Batista.
He's like a fake Batista.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, if it works, they already knocked Jackson Andrews back down.
So let's wrap this up. Overall rating for Raw, what would you give it? I'd give it about a 7 out of 10.
Sounds about right. 7.5 out of 10.
Commercials,
so many damn commercials. And in the middle of the matches, man, come on, schedule the matches a little bit better. Cut promos, keep the crowd entertained during the commercials like you used to. Joey's been plenty of shows. He told me how it used to be done. What's with this? You're letting USA push you around? Vince McMahon, stand up for the WWE.
So I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was a pretty good, okay Raw. Could have did with a couple of moments. I think they kind of drawed it out. Like instead of it being the new Nexus, they should just call it the Straight Edge Nexus.
Yeah, because I've heard on SmackDown the Nexus is not going to be called the Nexus. Then we're going to have the new Nexus. We're going to have 2 Nexuses. So it's like almost like I got a funny comment: Nexus Wolfpack and the Nexus.
Yeah,
or we're going to call it Nexus Hollywood.
Yeah. So Brian, what would you give this overall? Raw.
Didn't we just say 7.5?
Oh, I guess, I'm sorry, like I said, I'm so bad on the call.
Yeah, he's bad on the call. That night will, he's straight.
No, if you guys have seen Saturday Night Live Best of Chris Farley, there's a skit on there, it's called Hyrenol.
Rest in peace, Phil Hartman.
Phil Hart and Chris Farley. Phil Hartman did the narration. It knocks the cold out while you're out cold. It's a mock thing. It's like the cup is like this big. And it's just ridiculous.
He wakes up looking like a
he missed 5 Super Bowls off of one big gigantic cup. That's what I need right now. But we're gonna call this a wrap. This is JC Styles, F and True.
Brian Crazy, F and True Wrestling. It has been great being with you guys tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. And last things, I hope this doesn't cut out while I'm giving this quick plug. Antoine Dillard, thanks for the graphics. You do incredible work. Can't wait to keep doing work with you in the future, man. Guys, check out his channel. If you're trying to bring your YouTube channel to the next step, this is your man. Also, check out EDTV. They're in the description box. And also check out our suggested channels list on me and JC's channel. F and True Wrestling wouldn't be possible without you. And to be honest, F and True Wrestling wouldn't be possible without my broadcast colleague, JC. So I'm glad that he's back in full force. And,
guys, we'll see you later in the week, hopefully with Q&A and the TNA review.
Yes, no TNA review. No more spoilers, guys. Review. It's going to be pure review. If there's some breaking information, maybe we'll bring it to you, but we're going to keep it short and sweet and title it so that we're going to try to keep this more of a review-based show than a complete spoiler. SmackDown, it's obvious, it's taped on Tuesday and it's out there. So anybody that doesn't like that, hit the desubscribe. I'll find out who you are.
JC Styles. See you later.
Brian, the find our outer. Crazy.
Do you want to go turn the camera off?
I'm going to turn the camera off. Camera's going off.
Any day now.